Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So I have a confession to make. I have really been struggling this week. I don't know, I guess I'm at the point in my build where I don't know where my next step is going to be, and I'm not quite sure what the next project I want to work on is. I've got quite a bit still to do. I've still got my walls to finish. I've still got to finish my cabinet doors. I've got to finish up underneath my bed. I've got to finish the ceiling, my electrical. I've still got plenty to do. I'm just at a loss right now and haven't decided what I want my next step to be. So for this week's video, I thought I would go through and grab some of your all's comments and just sit down and talk to you guys and go through some of those and answer some questions and stuff like that. But first, before I do that, there's a couple of things, unfortunately, that I need to show you. One of them is, well, it's dark outside right now, so you can't tell, but I'll throw a picture up on the screen. 2 days ago, I woke up and I started my van because I was going somewhere, and I turned on my defrosters. And I don't know if it was because it got cold outside and then I turned the defrosters on or what, but now I have a large crack in the edge of my windshield. So I'm going to have to get that fixed. And then earlier today, I was driving somewhere and completely forgot. Let me move the camera over. I completely forgot my TV was sitting over here on the counter. Normally I have it sitting over on laying flat on my bed when I'm driving so it don't fall. Well, I forgot to do that. And I broke the screen. So I went and bought a new TV, so I'm going to go ahead and set that up real quick, and then I'll get it started on some of the comments. What's a little irritating about this is the type of TV that I had before, I couldn't find one of those, so I got a different type. And I had just learned this remote to where I could, in the dark, I could find the buttons that I needed without having to look at it. Now I have a new remote to learn. But I guess that's not that big of a deal. Yep, it seems to be working. It's just updating the software now. So while it's doing that, I'll go ahead and go through some of these comments. Doing these videos and interacting with you all in the comments has been really fun. Some of you have had some really good suggestions, and keep them coming because this is all new to me. So if you ever see anything that I'm doing wrong or something that I could change up, definitely let me know. I enjoy reading those. I need to start doing more live videos. I think I will eventually probably do those at least once a month. I don't know when that'll start, but I'm still a little nervous about it. I did my first live feed here a while back, and it was a little nerve-wracking, but I definitely want to start doing more because I definitely want to be stepping outside of my comfort zone more and more. Give me just a second. I think I'm going to switch my swivel chair around because I think this light right here is a little harsh on my face. It's making my face look very bright. So give me just a second. I'm going to switch my chair around. Hey everybody, I just wanted to jump on here real quick and give everybody that has subscribed to my channel and watched my videos a huge thank you. It really means a lot to me that you all take the time to watch my videos. They've been really fun to create, and this build on this van has been awesome as well. If you're new to the channel and haven't subscribed yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll get notified every Tuesday when a video comes out. Thanks so much for watching. Now back to the video. Okay, I think that's a little bit better. And this seat is a lot more comfortable than this bench seat that I was sitting on, so I think this will be better. So this first comment, and I'm going to try to remember which videos these comments came from, but this first comment was, now I know who to call the next time I need a plumber. You might want to rethink that. I've been very surprised at how, especially that project, the plumbing project, how easy that went. I mean, I did have a few problems. I had a few weeks in it, but I was very happy with how smooth that project went. I've mentioned this multiple times in different videos. I've never done anything like this. I've never built cabinets. I've never built a bed. I've never built out a van. And I've never done any plumbing work whatsoever. So I've been doing a lot of research on YouTube. That has helped quite a bit. But yeah, I just thank you so much for that comment. I'm definitely not an expert, but I was very happy with how that turned out. The next comment says, the more trips you do, the more you know what you need in your van. Keep doing trips. I think this was referring to a comment that I made, I believe, in my last video, that I was going to take a trip this weekend, but I decided that I was going to stay here and work on my van. I should have taken the trip because I did not work on my van this weekend. I just could not make my mind up on the project that I wanted to work on, and because of that, I didn't work on anything, unfortunately. But you're absolutely right. When I went on my Arizona trip, I learned quite a few things about my van, a couple of things that I'm going to completely change up. And I'll be sure to go into that a little bit more in a future video. But for example, my cabinet that I built, I was going to put another cabinet over here on the other side right by my doors. However, I realized on my Arizona trip that I need a place to sit besides the swivel seat and my bed, because when I'm sitting in my bed, I'm hunched over. I can't sit straight up. So I need a place to sit. So I think instead of a cabinet over here by the doors, I'm going to do a bench seat instead. But I'll be sure to go into more detail on that in a future video. This next comment is also from my plumbing video. If I saw correctly, you have a small hole on the right side, as viewed from the back of the van, in your water tank as a vent. You may want to put a small standpipe going from there so that the water is less likely to slosh out when driving. Yes, so before I get something in that to keep the water from sloshing out, I don't fill my tank up very much. Actually, I haven't filled it up at all since that video because it's been getting cold at night and I don't want anything to freeze, and I haven't had a heater out here. But I have I don't know exactly what it's called. It's an inlet pipe that I'm going to use it'll make it easier to fill my tank instead of having to reach all the way back to the tank with a water hose. It'll be right at the back door, so I can just fill it up from there. And it's got a small thing on it that I can hook a hose to for the vent on it. That'll run a small hose to that small opening. So once I get that in there, I'm not worried at all about it sloshing out. And another comment from that same video, don't forget to cap that hole in the tank so it doesn't slosh out onto the floor. Yep, I definitely have a plan for that. And like I said, when I'm driving my van right now, since I don't have anything capping that hole, I don't have much water in that tank at all. So this next comment is from that same video. It says, great content, just hate that the music is blaring loud compared to voice. And first of all, I appreciate you commenting that because I obviously don't want that. I do, whenever I'm editing it's kind of weird because my laptop screen isn't working, so I have my laptop hooked up to a TV monitor right now, and that messes with my volume. It's hard for me to get my volume right, my voice compared to the music. So I've got it figured out for the most part, I think. But depending on the device that you're listening to my video, the music could sound a lot louder than my voice, unfortunately. So I'm definitely going to keep working on that. I don't want my videos to sound bad, so I really appreciate you commenting that and letting me know that the music was too loud. So I'll try to tone that down a little bit. The next comment is from my video where I am coming home from Schoolypalooza. Another fun and interesting video. The fog ice, or whatever it was a pretty cool, unexpected surprise. Even though it was extremely cold, that was an awesome surprise to see. You did a great job showing the cross. It was an incredible thing to see for sure. As always, I look forward to your next adventure. Thanks for taking us along. P.S. Did you find a coffee mug for your mom in Roswell? So yes, I think I actually got a couple of comments asking about this. I was debating on whether I wanted to add that in my video or not, because as I was editing, I realized that I didn't ever give an update on that. I didn't ever tell you all whether I got a coffee mug for my mom or not. But yes, I absolutely did get my mom a coffee mug. This next one asks, did you tour Carlsbad Caverns? If not, you definitely need to go back and do that. So I actually got a few questions, both in the comments and some personal questions that people have texted and asked me if I stopped at Carlsbad Caverns, and I did not. I didn't have time to stop there. It is definitely on my list. I definitely will be going back and checking that out. However, they've made a rule where if you go to a national park and you're wanting to film, even though I just have my one camera, I have to get a permit to film at a national park now. They recently changed that, so it makes it a little bit more difficult. I have to know 2 to 4 weeks in advance if I'm going to be stopping at a national park, so that I have time to get a permit. I definitely plan on doing that. I just don't know when I'm going to be going back in that area. And when I travel full time, it's going to make it difficult because I may not know when I'm going to be going to a national park. I may just be passing one and want to stop. And if I do that, I won't be able to film it because I won't have time to get a permit. So I'm going to have to be very strategic on where I go and just, I guess, map out my trips, especially when I start traveling full-time, map out my trips a month in advance, or maybe even 2 months in advance, so I have plenty of time to get a permit so I can film and show you all everything I do. But yes, I do definitely plan on stopping at Carlsbad Caverns in the future. The next comment says, "Hi Cory, have you watched Rolling Earthship on YouTube? He does most of his cooking over a campfire. You should give that a try. Healthier and cheaper than fast food. Plus, in my opinion, it makes for interesting content. I, for one, love learning new cooking ways, like baking bread in a cast iron Dutch oven." So, the first part of your question, no, I haven't ever seen Rolling Earthship on YouTube, but I'm definitely going to check it out. I definitely want to learn new cooking techniques while I'm traveling in my van. One thing that I did realize on this trip, I stopped at McDonald's, I stopped at that Mexican restaurant in Roswell, and then I didn't show this on the camera, but I also stopped at an Arby's before I got home. And I realized if I do that every day, it's gonna get very expensive. So you're absolutely right. I need to learn new cooking techniques, and cooking over a campfire or cooking on my 2-burner stove that I have, I want to learn different recipes. So if any of you all have any good recipes that I could easily make, I put my email down in the description of all my videos. If you want, email those to me or just put them down in the comments, because I would definitely like to try different recipes. The next comment, I believe, is from my Schoolypalooza video. This one says, "Stepping out of your comfort zone is such a healthy thing to do once in a while. So well done. Looked like a nice trip. I'm glad you enjoyed it." I had an awesome time. I mentioned a few times in that video that I am a very introverted person. So things like that, whenever there's a lot of people around and a lot of parties going on, and it's not my thing normally. But ever since I got this van, I have put it in my mind that I want to push myself outside of my limits. I want to step outside of my comfort zone as much as I possibly can. And because I don't want to miss out on things. If I would have been too worried or too scared to go out there because of all the people, then I would have missed out on a really good time. That's another thing that I realized on that trip is I just need to push myself. I need to jump off of a cliff into freezing cold water every once in a while. Woo! I need to go out and go to a light show party with a bunch of people around and just have a good time. And if I'm getting to a point where it's becoming too much, find a way out. Like whenever I was out there, they had all those trails that people would go out on their ATVs and motorcycles and just go out in the desert and ride. So I would just go out there and walk as far as I could. I think the furthest I went was about 2 or 3 miles out. I would just go out there by myself and kind of decompress and then come back and enjoy myself. I think it also helped that I was camped with an awesome group of people. Jimmy and Natalie, DeWitt and Debbie, Andrew and Susanna, they were all awesome and very easy to talk to and just sit down and have a conversation with. So I think that helped out a lot. This next comment's from that same video. Love it. I thought you were going hypothermic for a minute. My gosh, you're brave. Great video, Cory. So glad you enjoyed your trip. I always enjoy watching. Thank you very much. Yes, that water was, I mean, it wasn't freezing. There was no ice on it because the water is fed from an underground water source. So the water stays 61 degrees year round. But with it being windy outside and in the low 50s, yeah, it was cold. It's the coldest water I've ever jumped into. But even though it was really cold, it was a lot of fun. And that has actually sparked me wanting to do some more polar plunges, like jumping into some extremely cold water with ice around and stuff like that. I think I want to look into doing more of that because I think it'd be fun to do, and I think it'd be entertaining for you all to watch. Also, that's probably not going to be the last time I have the blue hole on my videos, because ever since we've heard about that place, me and my dad and my brother have wanted to go scuba diving there because we always heard that the water is extremely clear, and it is. You could tell. I'll post a picture. I don't know if I showed this picture or not. It's right after I jumped in and I paused the video, and you could see my face perfectly under the water with all the bubbles. It just shows how clear that water is. So I definitely want to go back with my dad and my brother and go scuba diving in the summertime. The next question is, and I'm not exactly sure what video this is from, but it says, what part of Oklahoma are you from? I am in northeast Oklahoma. I'm about 45 miles away from Tulsa. And I believe you mentioned in your comment that you're from southeast Oklahoma. I definitely am going to be in that area. There's some things down there in that area that I want to see. So I'll be traveling down there. And there's quite a few things in Oklahoma that I want to see, actually, that I've never seen before. So I'm going to probably be traveling around Oklahoma quite a bit for a while. The next question is, and this kind of ties into me traveling in Oklahoma for a while. This comment says, I was wondering, do you still work or will you do this full time? So I still work currently. I'm working from home. So I don't know what the future is going to hold, really. My goal is to be able to travel full time. That's my ultimate goal. I don't know if I will be able to work from my van or not. I haven't even brought that up. But no, I work from home. I have a full-time job. That's why I've been a little worried that this build is taking too long. But then I realized I'm not able to work on this build full-time. I have a full-time job, and I'm working on the build in my free time. So I've kind of not been too hard on myself with the amount of time it's taking for this build. And I've been on a few trips as well. But yeah, if I was working on this build full-time, I would probably have it done by now. But since I have a full-time job, it's taking me a little longer, which it's not that big of a deal. I want to take my time with it anyway and do things the right way on it instead of having problems later on down the road. The next comment says, I do have a question. How in the heck do you stay so clean when you are painting? I would have more paint on me than on the boards. LOL, Van is looking great. Thank you. I guess I'm just really good. Actually, I don't know if you can see in the camera or not, but this hoodie has paint on it. I guess I'm really good at keeping it out of the camera, but I am not very good. I'm not a very clean painter at all. When I was painting my cabinets, I had paint all over my hands. I got it on both of my hoodies. I have a small spot on this hoodie, and then I have some, I don't know if some of the paint on my ceiling was wet or not, but I have some on my hood. I don't have a clue how I got paint on my hood on my other hoodie, but I got it on there. So no, I'm not a very clean painter at all. I guess I'm just really good at keeping it out of the camera. This next comment is regarding the lights that I used for my ceiling. Use the other two lights under your bed on a separate switch. So I have the lights that I bought. It came in a pack of 8, but I only used 6 lights in my ceiling, so I have 2 extra. And that's exactly what I'm going to be doing with those lights. It's very dark, especially when it's night out and I need to get up underneath my bed to get something. It's very dark under there, so I'm going to use those extra 2 lights and put them on a separate switch so that I can have light underneath my bed in the storage area. Yeah, that's an awesome idea, and that's exactly what I'm going to do with those 2. The next one says, are you using a house dimmer switch or one that is for DC? So this is a little embarrassing. Oh man, and this just goes back to I'm new to this. I don't know what I'm doing on some of this, and I'm just learning as I go. So the switch that I bought is for like a switch that you would put in your house. and it's not a DC switch, and I need a DC switch because that's how my lights are wired. So I have to go buy a DC switch for it. Yeah, it's normally I would get really embarrassed about that, but it is what it is. I'm learning as I go, and I'm not keeping that a secret that I'm learning. I'm not trying to hide that fact, so if I mess up, I mess up. It's not that big of a deal. I'll just go buy a DC switch and it'll work just fine. And the last comment that I have for this video is no insulated window covers. Nope, not yet. Hopefully very soon. I think I finally pinpointed the type of covers that I want to make, and hopefully very soon I will have a video with those, but I haven't made them yet. Now that winter's almost over, I still need coverings for my trips, but if I would have had the covers throughout this winter, it probably would have been a lot easier to keep my van warm. But with the summer months around the corner, I'll need those to help keep my van cool as well. But yeah, I desperately need to get those made, and like I said, I think I've pinpointed exactly how I want to make them, so be on the lookout for that video soon. Well, I think that's where I'm going to end it this week. It looks like I have to register my new TV. So I'm probably just going to work on that for the rest of the night and get that all set up and everything. But I really appreciate you all watching my videos. I know that this video is not a normal type of video that I do, and I apologize about that. This has been an off week, and I don't know exactly what my next step is going to be in this build, but I'm pretty confident that I'll get it figured out. Thank you all once again for watching this video. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next Tuesday.